Good evening, everybody. Happy Sunday. Yay, Sunday. As usual, bittersweet. End of the weekend. And, I mean, I guess, yeah, end of the weekend and sucks Sunday. How are you doing, my suckers? Thank you guys so much for stopping by and hanging out tonight. This is our, per usual, weekly Succession Watch-Along recap stream, where I yap about things in the show for about an hour. I apologize, you know, I was thinking like, dude, I really don't have much of a format for this time. Like, sometimes I do PowerPoint, sometimes I don't, and this week I also don't have a PowerPoint prepared. but oh man, but if I had the PowerPoint prepared, I guess I'll just have to save it as an image. Okay, anyways. I gotta share the stocks thing. I can't believe I forgot about that. So let me get that in there. I took so many notes last time because instead I usually like type the notes into like Google Keep, but I don't know. I was just like, today I'm going to take notes on my iPad, and it's so long. I'll show you how long it is in a second, but let me get the socks poll here. Let me do this. No PowerPoint, I'm out of here. I know, I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, honestly, I completely forgot that I took notes until like an hour ago. Yeah. I don't know, every week I'm always thinking like, oh dude, what am I gonna talk about, man? And then I realized like, oh wait, I took notes last week. I don't know, after we like finished the stream, or like finished the watch along, wait, I gotta, wait, oh, where did it go? Wait, suck Sunday. Wait, let me do this real quick. I gotta clear the responses. That way. Delete the response. Okay. Okay, alright, and then we could pin this. And now I can talk. What was I talking about? I don't remember. Anyways, take a look at the pinned message chat. That is our Suck Sunday stock exchange, where you can invest and sell in the characters. Basically, who rocked your socks off, who sucked ass, and who's not a moving player, and like, I don't know, who you crowned king, all that kind of stuff. You know the form, you've seen it before. Yeah. Well, here, let me show you my notes. Let me show you my notes real quick. Take a looky at this. Here's my notes. Just talk. You can't even read it. It's hard for me to read too, because I guess it's just too long. It didn't export in like a high quality. Yeah. The worst part about like writing notes handwritten is it's hard to organize. Sorry, I had to burp. Sorry. It's hard to organize. Welcome everybody. Thanks so much for stopping by. If you'd like to mark yourself present for today's Succession Sunday watch along pre-chat stream thingamajig, I would love to see some, let's see some money in the chat, or anything that's like luxurious. I don't know, how do you define luxury? I want to see that in the chat. Private jets, yachts, money bags, glass of wine, I don't know. Dennis, good evening. Welcome. I hope you're having a lovely day. Wow. Gonzo, hello. Ainz, hello. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. Hope you guys had a lovely weekend. You know what? I always spend too much time not yapping about the things that are important, so considering I have a long list, let me go ahead and take a look. I'm gonna leave this up because I'm just gonna assume that you can't read this. And I'm gonna try and pull up relevant pictures. I don't know. It might take some time to pull up relevant pictures. I see mentioned. You know what? We'll get there. It's the second item. Luciano, hello, welcome. I hope you're having a lovely day. All right, so I'm just gonna read down my notes. So it's gonna be an episode order. We watched season 3, episode 1. Let me get that synopsis. Season 3, episode 1, Secession. And in this episode, aired October 17th, 2021, so almost 4 years ago. Following his bombshell presser, a righteous Kendall scrambles to find a base of operations while Logan's team searches for a safe harbor. It picks up right after we left off in season 2, episode, what was it, 10? Episode 3, the season 2 finale, right? No hand cam coasters. Yeah, I don't have it set up right now. Would it be better? I don't know. Not dressed for it. Sorry, not this time. Yeah, so one of the things that I wanted to ask actually, so we say the characters, like, basically their whole life revolves around Logan. I want to ask you guys, is the paycheck of working for Logan Roy, wait, how do I make this a poll? Is the paycheck for working directly for Logan Roy worth it? I guess, like, or proximity to power / influence? Worth. There you go. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Yeah, is it worth it? Because I was thinking, like, these guys are bending over backwards, you know, just to keep their jobs. Like, I get it. It's a very what do you call it? Like, high profile, high, like, visibility, and, like, I'm sure you got a lot of stuff to do, and I'm sure you got to be, like, really competent in order to be good at this job. But it's, like, also kind of on call 24/7. I don't know, like, and you get to go to these, like, really nice places. Like, think about the yacht, right? And Logan brought his whole team essentially over onto there, so you do get to go to these, like, out of this world, like, luxury, like, very exclusive places, but at what cost? Let's see, what did I write down here? Sticking in / out. Okay, this is my notes for myself. I'll read it out loud to you guys. Sticking in or out with Logan, essentially, will come to question a lot in the this season and the next season. So I was curious about knowing, like, what your personal, I guess, values or priorities are. I think for me personally, it seems stressful, but at the same time, you really could influence so much. And for sure, this season and next season, like, I think we've seen the amount of wealth that they've had in the last 2 seasons, but I think we get to actually see them exert that power in this season especially. And so that'll be really fun to see. Monkas, I don't know about boarding a boat from this show. People are talking about how big the budget must be because of the yacht, but I mean, I don't know, like, who's driving the boat? Let's see, I put down Kendall is high off of his own farts. He feels so good about this, but what's his plan? We really haven't seen him, like, trying to concoct a plan. It really reminds me of him, like, right after he got fired, after he got let go, after the failed vote, even, like, before the vote of no confidence from season 1, you know, seeing him just so high on his own, like, oh man, I'm the man, dude. And okay, but I wrote this down a lot, but it's a little bit later, but it really, Kendall is, like, such, like, a performative feminist throughout this whole thing. I'll mention specific parts in a second, but yeah. Oh yeah, the cruise scandal. What was that cruise with the scandal? Right, the Bright Star cruises. That's true. That is, like, I mean, I guess, like, the Roys, like, if we are gonna take a yacht, like, per the question that I asked, if we are gonna take a yacht, we're not gonna be taking a yacht with the commoners, you know? With the plebeians. We're gonna be taking a yacht with the big boys, right? We're not gonna go on a cruise we'll be going on the yachts and like the private jets and stuff because we're working directly for Logan Roy, right? So that's kind of the question. Is having that power, and then even if you are like we've seen with Lester, we've seen with him that he was able to get away with so much because he was one of Logan's buddies and Logan was more than willing to sweep it under the rug. Same with Kendall killing that kid in the car crash. He was more than willing. It's no real person involved. If this person does not like affect our business in a real way, if this person is not one of like somebody from our elite circle, they're not a real person. They don't have a name. They don't have a face that the public is aware of, right? Like, you know, to that extent. At least that's what I understand Logan to mean. No real person involved. If they're not like one of the people from our side of society, not a real person. They're just background noise. But yeah, the cruise scandals. We are seeing Greg leverage his position with that. I have a note on that later, but yeah. Let's see. Kendall is high off his own farts. He feels so good about this, but what's his plan? Nobody wants to join his team. I mentioned Frank doesn't want to join his team. He called Shiv, and she considered it, but she also doesn't really quite want to join his team. He's calling everybody, being like, dude, I'm the man, and like, I am gonna dethrone my dad again, and this time, like, I got it. So you gotta believe in me. I got a home run here. Join my team. Be on the right side of history. Like, he's jerking himself off. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Another thing that I mentioned, to bring it back to the waiter, Kendall's grin when Greg was like, this is like OJ. Let's see. Kendall, right, who said I never killed anyone? Alright, I'll just bring up the clip.
This is
Maybe I'll put this on top. Yes. It covers too much. Okay. Put this here. I'll put this here. Alright, here we go. There we go.
crazy. This is like OJ.
The way that he just smiles
except if
at
OJ
him.
never killed anyone.
Who said I never killed anyone?
Who said I never killed anyone? This is... Look at it. It's the fucking Joker over here, dude. The first time I saw this, I was shook because this is really the first time that Kendall even hints at the situation that he was in, you know? I don't know if this is like his way of like reclaiming the trauma. I don't know, but it's... Isn't it crazy? Like, just how sad he seemed last season. And look at the twinkle in his eye right now.
Juice is loose, baby!
The juice is loose, baby! I think, let's see, what did I write about that scene? I just read the quotes. He said I never killed anyone, juice is loose. But yeah, this is like one of the first times that we actually see Kendall, like, even remotely like touching on it, even though he never admitted to anything, he's like touching on it. To Greg, to Jess. Jess is the girl in the back seat with them. She is his personal assistant. I mean, I don't know, we've kind of seen her here and there, but I think I want to say she plays like a major part. She's just his assistant, but I think it's good to like pay attention to how he treats her and stuff, just like, you know, just as like a tell of his own character. How does Kendall Roy treats his employees? He came to terms with it, right? Yeah, it kind of feels like he did. Like maybe that this crusade, this moral crusade that he's on right now, and like taking down his dad for like corporate cover-ups of like sexual misdeeds, is that a word? But you know, like for really bad shit, for covering up really bad shit, maybe he feels like in a way not forgiven, but like maybe this kind of could wash him away of his sins. I don't know, or maybe he's just high off of his own adrenaline of like feeling like the man. Who knows? Let's see. Both Logan's side and Kendall's side wants the lawyer Lisa Arthur to represent them in this case. They all said that she is the one to handle a case like this. Let's see. Shiv is asked to get Lisa, and you know, every time Shiv is asked to do something, does she quite take it over the finish line? Not really. And then one thing that I also wrote down, how Logan described it as, oh, she's the lawyer that did the hookers, and then Jerry had to correct them and be like, she represented the trafficked workers, you know? So I think that really tells another thing of Logan's general callousness about the whole situation. Like, he doesn't give a fuck, and like he doesn't really care to let people know that he doesn't give a fuck. Whereas I think Kendall, I do think like Kendall feels bad in a way that this happened under their watch, but I guess to jump ahead in my notes a little bit, but at the end of season 3 episode 2, Kendall and Connor were trying to insist to their siblings like, hey, like, we knew that this was going on, right? Like, this was like an open secret. Like, we knew that this was going on. So taking Kendall's recollection of that event, Kendall knew what was going on, but he didn't do anything about it until now. Like, he's complicit in the situation too, which makes me feel that like, yeah, Kendall is trying to, he's just performative male syndrome, right? He's got a cup full of matcha and a tote bag. Emotionally, at least, I guess. I don't know, but I mean, you know, it's just performative feminism on his part, just taking the side, like that side, to make him feel good about himself. I don't know, or at least make him feel better than his dad. Shiv, a dagger that doesn't dig deep enough. Ooh, that's a nice one. Let's see. Oh, I know you guys, when we were watching, mentioned Connor being a creep to Willa. I made a note to like look back at the body language, but I didn't do that. Like, Connor and Willa's relationship, we're pretty deep in it, right? We've seen them officially going steady, and they're moved in together. But oddly enough, out of all the relationships that we've seen from the other characters, right? So I guess like Kendall's relationship with his ex-wife Rava, Kendall's relationship with like, I guess, some of the random women that he hooks up with, Kendall's relationship with Naomi Pierce, which is basically like, you know, founded, or like they bonded over like a mutual relapse. Let's see. Roman's relationship with Tabitha, which was the girl he was, the closed loop system girl that he took to Shiv and Tom's wedding. His relationship with Jerry, Logan's relationship with like his wife. Like, out of all of their relationships, right, like everybody else is kind of fucked up, but like Willa and Connor, I think like the power dynamics are kind of like, you raise an eyebrow at it, but it's like, out of all of the, it's like kind of the healthiest so far, right? Like, sure, it's very transactional, but I think that they're both aware of how transactional it is. And like Willa, like, sure, she's not like in love with Connor, but she's like, he's a nice guy. I mean, I think that's like impression that I get so far. Like, she's not like super fed up with him. She's like, well, you know, it could be worse. Which I guess isn't like the best kind of foundation, but either way, it's the most healthy one that any of these characters have. I don't know, what do you think? What's your opinion on that? Let's see. I wrote down Shiv rejecting Tom's kindness, where Tom says you'll see him again, but I didn't write down Shiv's response, so I'm not quite sure what that is. I think like Shiv was worried that Logan like might not make it back because like they got separated or something, and like I think she was worried that Logan would die. I don't know. And then, well, whatever, I don't remember why I wrote this down, so I'm gonna skip it. Kendall constantly saying I did this for you. He said that to Frank when trying to convince Frank to join his side. When he went to Rava's house to use it as a headquarters, he said that to Rava and the kids. I did this for you and the kids. Let's see. I don't know, I just wrote down quotes. I'm gonna keep going. Logan's strategy is to step back, to shut mouth, he wants to lawyer everyone up. So he sent, like, we seen Greg, he got a lawyer literally sent to his door, and Greg was like, oh, I don't know if you're like representing me, and he was very hesitant in taking that guy's like legal advice and like confirming that that guy was going to be his representation. So Logan's strategy is lawyer everyone up, control the narrative, and discredit Kendall. And put down top picks. Top picks is Roman and Jerry. Oh, is it for the CEO? He did say that he needed to name a new CEO too, so that way, you know, he can control the narrative a little bit more and probably step down because, you know, his image has been tarnished by Kendall's shit slinging. Let's see. I put down his top picks were Roman and Jerry, but when Shiv asked Tom if he wanted it, I forgot what the context was, but I remember Tom, he kind of seemed like he wanted it, didn't he? And we've seen him like kind of subtly reach for the crown, you know, with him and Shiv scheming in, what is it, season 1 or like, you know, yeah, I think it was season 1. And yeah, Tom seemed like he wants it, but with Cruises, like, he maybe can't have it. He's like, no, it can't be me because, you know, I'm involved in the whole Cruises thing and, like, the whole hearings. I totally fucked that up. But you can see in his heart, Mr. Wamsgams, he wants the top seat. But it's like, dude, I don't know. Tom's kind of spineless. He's kind of spineless. Compared to Logan, like, Logan rules the entire Waystar with an iron fist. I don't know if Tom is like emotionally worthy enough to be his successor. And then, you know, we've seen that he falls under pressure when it came to things like the Bright Star, like the cruise hearings and stuff. Literally being like his first instinct when they said, do you know Gregory Hirsch? He's like, no. It was like, you guys are two peas in a pod. Are you fucking kidding? Like, why is that? They have evidence, dude. So I don't know, Tom, maybe he wants it, but, and I think like maybe out of all the kids, he probably does have a lot of experience in Waystar, assuming that he worked his way up from like, started from the bottom, now we're here, because he's like from the Midwest and stuff, you know, he's not from an insane amount of like family wealth or connections. But I don't know. He wants it, and I don't think that they're hinting at that for no reason. Tom's got the constitution of a floppy noodle. Yeah, he's so, it's like I always say, I feel like Greg is like the egg version. He's the egg version of Tom. If Tom's the chicken, Greg is the egg, right? You can't make a Tom without breaking a few Gregs. And I don't know, it's just thinking like that kind of person leading a whole multi-billion-dollar media empire, the math doesn't check out, in my opinion. But hey, anything can happen. Let's see. I put down a character named Comfrey. We see Greg trying to flirt with a blonde girl. Her name is Comfrey, and she's part of like Ken's like outside like third-party hired PR team to help him like, I guess, leverage this opportunity and control the narrative a bit, especially because he divulged company secrets to the press. So he's kind of like not working for the company anymore because of that. Yeah. He broke his contract, so he's kind of on his own. So he hires an outside PR team. I don't think the other girl, like there's two girls that was sitting with them, but I don't remember the other girl's name, so I'm gonna assume that she's not that important. But Comfrey does show up like a couple of times. She's like the main PR person, I think, for Kendall. Let's see, I wrote down that during Greg's like attempt at flirting with her, we get a little bit of lore about him. How he talks about his mother. We've only seen in that first episode. His mother cut his mom off financially, so Greg got his mom like a credit card, but she was worried about the stock prices or something, so she started buying like, what was it, like NutriBullets or whatever, like she starts hoarding like some item, and he has to cancel her credit card. I thought that was just a nice little detail where it's like, oh, Greg's like, you know, he wants to take care of his mother. Yeah, I don't know, I just thought it was a nice detail. Let's see. I also wrote down that Kendall is just talking over all of the women, but he's trying to play a feminist card. So, like how the girls come in and they're trying to pitch him like their idea of how they could spin this like PR wise, and he says, what did he say? Let's see. Kendall Roy, temperature. No, not temperature. Cultural. He said like, fuck the temperature, we're changing the cultural climate or something. Oh, no, I can't find the clip on YouTube. But yeah, he says like, he says something insane. And it's just like, he's just spewing just all of these like business jargon buzzwords and stuff. I don't know. The way that Kendall talks is like deeply satisfying, but it's like he says a lot of nothing, you know? I feel like I'm kind of the same. Just using really big words as sentence enhancers and just like, I don't know. Like, sure, it's a lot of flavor in there, but like, what are you actually saying, dude? Like, are you actually communicating a point? And it's like, he's not even contributing anything. Like, they're trying to lay out a plan, and he's just like, I don't know. He's just like, oh yeah, we gotta do like this vibe thing. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I also put down Tom in the race, question mark. Let's see. I like Jerry/Roman. Logan says, oh, so when Logan calls Tom, and Tom, does Logan call Tom? And Tom says like, yeah, I like Jerry, I like Roman. And Logan says, well, how about you? And then Tom, I think you kind of see in his face where he's thinking like, is there a chance for me to do this? All right, because earlier he told Shiv, he's like, I don't think it's gonna be me because of like all the fuck ups that I did. But then when he's asked by Logan, I think he kind of thinks like, do I have a chance at this? Like, if Logan's asking me, does he like possibly not care about the things like the way that I majorly slipped up before? But yeah. Everyone is throwing their hat in to be his successor. Again, this issue is, I mean, I guess it's the name of the show, but again, this issue is who's going to be the successor, the heir to Logan Roy. It's brought up again. So everyone's throwing their hats in the ring. Roman is explicitly saying how he wants it, but he's also pitching Jerry as a mentor and as a consideration. And Logan did not like that at all. He really doesn't want anybody that's like flip-floppy, I think, as we've seen from this. So yeah, that's another thing. Like, literally after he was done with the conversation with Roman, he's like, yeah, no, Roman's out. Like, we're not doing that. We're not. He wouldn't even fight for himself. Like, he's out. He doesn't want it that bad. Let's see. My next note is about Shiv going to visit the lawyer, Lisa Arthur. Lisa says that she can't give Shiv advice, and Shiv deducts that it's because a conflict of interest because she's representing Kendall in all of this. So Kendall is the one who won over the lawyer who defended, in Logan's words, the hookers. And in Jerry's words, the trafficked workers. I mean, I guess it makes sense because it's like, why would she defend the company that is, what do you call it? Like the perpetrators? Allegedly. Let's see. And yeah, we also learned that if Shiv was able to secure this, she could have gotten CEO, but she didn't secure Lisa Arthur. And I think that also just goes back to show how Logan, I mean, I think we've seen time and time again, he dangles the position of heir in front of his children as a way for them to try and earn his favor. But I think that's also why he like tries to take it away at the last minute, or tries to like sabotage his kids emotionally and try to pit them against each other, because if they aren't fighting for this / his love, are they gonna be doing these things? Like, what incentive does Shiv have to try and win Lisa Arthur for her dad, right? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to end that thought, but and let's see, what else do I have? Roman asking / pestering Jerry. Roman asking slash pestering Jerry to bone when his exes say they'd go months without it. Specifically talking about, was it Tabitha who said, or maybe it was some girl from season 1, where she's like we haven't had sex in like 6 months or whatever, or like, you know, you never touch me or you never look at me in that way, or like it's like having a celibate best friend. But Roman, he's like really eager to get into Jerry's pants. I just thought that was like another, like, Roman's a freak. A tally in that tally marker. He did mention like he only likes it when things are wrong, and then we also see his family constantly mention how he wants to bone his own mom, like his Oedipus complex. So yeah, just making a mental note of that. Another thing about Kendall, dismissing all the advice of the women around him. He's telling Lisa that representing him will be the highlight of her career. When he said that, I was like, that is the fucking audacity to say something like that. Like, I don't even think that she's chosen to represent him, or I think it seems like that they're in like the preliminary talks of doing it. Like, they're not like actually like, you know, like, hey, we're doing this, like full steam ahead. Representing me is going to be the highlight of your career. The audacity of this man. I don't know. It was just very like, yeah, like him talking over his PR team. Like, it just really felt like that again. And I made a couple more notes of like instances of him trying that. And yeah, I think that's like something to take a look at as we continue this season, because it does seem to be like the card that he's trying to play. And I don't know, I think it's just like a very telling like aspect of his character, of like how he is trying to take the narrative. Oh, I'm such a feminist person, and like I'm so progressive, and like my dad is like the evil like ATN like conservative, and you know, you guys are better off listening to me, and like I'm for the people, I'm for women, and I'm such a better person in every single way. But like at the end of the day, it's all performative. It's just to boost his own image. Very interesting. Okay, and now for season 3, episode 2. It was Mass in Time of War. Aired October 24th, 2021. Synopsis: Kendall tries to get his siblings as well as Stewie and Sandy on his side. Fearing his legal situation, Greg asks Ewan for help. Blue Love, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. I hope you guys are having a lovely weekend so far. Welcome. We are doing a really quick chat and recap of my very favorite show, Succession. And then literally right after this, we are going to go into our Discord and watch the next 2 episodes. So I hope that you guys enjoy your stay. If you guys have seen the show, you know, no spoilers, of course, but please feel free to chime in on any thoughts. Or if you haven't seen the show, hey, feel free to just listen to me yap about something that I'm passionate about. Blue Love, I hope you had a super duper lovely stream, as well as like having a really nice summer. I haven't seen you in a while, so I hope that you're having a nice summer. I guess it's like end of summer now, huh? Either way, I hope that you've been doing well. And yeah, thank you so much again for the raid. Feel free to rest your head. Yes. Let's see. So the synopsis for this one, Kendall... Oh yeah, I already read this. Kendall tries to get his siblings as well as Stewie and Sandy on his side. Fearing his legal situation, Greg asks Ewan for help. This is where we see Logan sending out his appointed lawyers to all of his loose ends to make sure that he can control the narrative and that nobody flip-flops to Kendall's side. If you haven't seen the show, this is basically a show about a king who owns a media empire, and he's really old, and like he's getting sick a lot, and like he has 3 kids who want to be his heir, but to be honest, he doesn't really like any of them, but he's gonna keep dangling the throne to make them do his bidding, and he could like keep pitting them against each other. Like, that's basically the show. I'm working on the Offkai vlog. I'll have it out in a few days. Oh, looking forward to it. Oh man, I can't wait to relive the memories of Offkai. Let's see. So season 3, episode 2. My notes. My very first note for this was Shiv on her phone, the profile picture for when Logan was calling her. Wasn't it? I think it was Saddam Hussein. Which is telling of how she views him. Let's see. We see Logan rallying his troops to his side, trying to pull Roman in. Oh yeah, because he tells Roman on the phone. He says, "Okay, son, it's gonna be like Jerry's gonna be the CEO for now, but just so you know, I trust you. I want you to keep an eye on Jerry." This is him dangling like, "Hey, you are my #1 kid. You're my favorite kid, by the way. I trust you. You could be CEO. You could have the throne after this. But for now, it's gonna be Jerry, and I need you to keep an eye on her." So, yeah, Logan being very transactional as usual. We see Greg's uncertain loyalty, where he's thinking, like, can Kendall be trusted? Because Kendall, he tells Greg, he's like, yeah, I don't have to tell them where I got the papers from. The papers being like the evidence that Greg didn't burn or shred. And Greg was like, wait, but you already said that you wouldn't give them the paper, like you wouldn't tell them, right? So I think we see Greg sort of thinking like, okay, how can I best save myself right now? Kendall, he's saying one thing, he's saying that he doesn't have to tell his sources, and then now he's saying like, or no, before Kendall said, I'm not going to tell my sources, and now he's saying I don't have to. Like, that's kind of sus. Greg definitely wants to keep his hands clean, even though he did commit a pretty big crime. It's what, obstruction of justice, right? Definitely like felony charges, right? White collar crime. I don't know. Either way, he's not in a good situation right now. We do see the literal Trojan horse from Stewie. We also see Greg and Tom kind of working together. Greg is Tom called Greg. Tom called Greg to say something. About something. Maybe like, oh, you're working for the enemy. I don't know. Tom called Greg, and Greg was like, oh, well, did you know that Shiv's here? Right? So they're like, you know, kind of trading, a little bit antagonistic, but still working together. So I think we're kind of seeing like a third small team budding. We have Kendall's side, we have Logan / Waystar side, and now we have the Tom Greg playing both sides, so I always come up on top side. We'll see how that plays out for them, but I don't know, trading information from one side to the other, you know, what do you call it, double crossing? I don't know. What else? Jerry trying to keep her mentorship with Roman professional, but Roman wants to bone the gilf. Roman does bring up the idea of like an executive committee, and Jerry did like the optics of it. I don't quite understand what the executive committee means, but I'm assuming that like it's a CEO, but then they're also like, you know, other people that the CEO consults with. So it's not just like a one person manpower stronghold kind of thing, like how Logan has it, but like a kind of like, sure, there's a leader, but it's still a group effort. Because Jerry did mention like, oh yeah, the optics are good because, you know, like many of us, like we can't be replaced by one person, you know, it has to be many of us to replace one great man, which is another thing, building up the mythology of Logan Roy, which, interesting. That just came to mind. They're always trying to like make Logan sound like a larger than life man, and sure, he does carry himself as somebody with like a lot of weight and power, but at the end of the day, like he's just a guy. He's just a rich guy, but like everybody else is being like such sycophants where they are just hyping him up endlessly. And yeah. Wait, I'm gonna take some water. Okay, this next point that I have down, it is another point about Kendall's performative feminism, where he is telling Shiv, you're angry with yourself and that I did the right thing. And he says, I'm the real you right now. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because he keeps telling her, he's like, you're angry that like I'm the one, like me, a man, and like you're a woman and you didn't make like a feminist choice. But like look at me, I'm the real feminist here. I'm the real progressive here, and like you're the performative one. Like, Kendall, hold up a mirror to yourself for a second, dude. Yeah, when just the audacity of him to say something like that, and for everybody else to be kissing his ass and being like, oh yeah, totally. Like, I'm really glad that Shiv was like disgusted by the fact that he said that, but I do kind of wish that she called him out on it. But then again, like, she wouldn't, because like, sure, yeah, she's pretty performative in it too, but I feel like that she believes it more than Kendall does, but that's just my reading. Let's see. I can't believe like the the audacity to say something like that to your sister. Oh, you're mad that like I'm the real feminist, like I'm the real you. God, shut up. Let's see. Logan telling kids what they want to hear to keep them on his side. Like I said, he told Roman, I trust you and I want you to keep an eye on Jerry. And then he also told Connor. He told Connor, you're my #1 boy. He said the exact same thing to Kendall when Kendall broke down to him crying after the car crash. So, you know, just telling his kids what they want to hear so that way they would be more, I guess, in line, or they will fall in line with what he wants them to do, I suppose. Another thing, going back to Kendall's feminism, I said Ken specifically wants Shiv on his team. He tells Shiv repeatedly, like, you're the one that I want, you're the only one that I want, that's why, like, did he invite her there first? I don't know, but he told her, like, I don't care if, like, Roman or Connor wants to join the team. Like, I want you to join the team. And it made me think that I think he only wants her on the team because... Oh, 10 minutes. Okay. He only wants her on the team because she's a woman. And I think that, like, him just surrounding himself by women, his PR consultants, Lisa Arthur, his sister, would strengthen his argument that he's, like, you know, the progressive future for Waystar. But I don't know, like, is that really like like, does he really have to lean into it that hard? I don't really know where I was going with that, but that was like just another thing that I thought. I can do anything, you can do better. I can't do anything, you can do better moment. Yeah, I can do anything. Wait, how did it go? No, I can't. No, yes, you can. How did it go? Let's see. I wrote down another note about Greg's loyalty. He's on Team Kendall, but he isn't shutting out sharing information with Tom, and he isn't cutting out Logan's lawyer. But he's definitely, like, trying to be self-preserving and feeling upwards. When Tom is on the phone with Shiv and she says, I love you, and then he's like, yeah. He doesn't want to say it back, you know? The first time that he didn't want to say I love you back was in the season 2 finale. He said, oh god, what did he say? I forgot what he said. He said something in this scene that was kind of similar to, like, oh yeah, I love this rock, goodbye rock, right? Where he kind of just like, yeah, sure, love doesn't have to mean like it's something heavy, like this heavy emotion. Like, love can be like, yeah, so whatever. Like, oh, like, I love lamp. But yeah, he does admit it later. He does say, yeah, I love you too, like, before they hang up. But the tension is very much bubbling. It's very clear after the season 2 finale that Tom is unhappy, and he's grown more, I guess, I don't know if confidence is the word, but he's grown a spine enough to be able to admit that to Shiv, and Shiv kind of has to deal with the consequences of that. I was very surprised that she said I love you, but then again, I mean, what else does she really have? It's not like Nate's in the picture. I think Nate, he kind of seemed like he hated her during the hearings last season. But yeah. Let's see. Kendall Oh, I also wrote down Kendall saying that he feels cleansed. I put it with the blue plus, which is where I'm kind of like noting all of his like performative feminism stuff. So I don't know the context where he says that he feels cleansed, but I think like, you know, this whole situation is, he views it as his redemption. If I can bring the people who committed like these sexual assaults, these murders, and like all of these like horrible other allegations to justice, then maybe that would be my redemption for what I've done to like that waiter and his family. I don't know. Maybe that's why he feels cleansed. Maybe that's why he feels so good about himself right now. Ooh, when Roman shows up at Kendall's house, he does bring a gift from the airport. I've mentioned, not in a couple of weeks, but like a while back, a few episodes ago, I mentioned that like Roman really has like a big heart for his family, and I think this is like another sign of that he, you know, comes to Kendall's house not empty-handed. Oh, also in the season 2 finale, after he had that whole like hostage situation and they're on the yacht, and he's like, oh, like, you know, maybe we could talk about our feelings, and like he also asks Logan, hey, do you have anybody to talk about this stuff with? And then season 2 finale, he wants to talk about his feelings, and like, you know, Shiv and Kendall were like making fun of him. Oh, you want to talk about our feelings? Oh, right. And you know, I think we're seeing Roman being probably the more sensitive sibling, that he, sure, like all of this is important to him, but I do genuinely feel like his motivation of doing this is out of the love for his family compared to like the other characters. I don't really feel like that's their motivation as much as it is for him. But yeah, Roman bringing a gift to Kendall's house, not coming empty-handed. Oh, and then there's also like zero hesitation to say no to Kendall, because he's like, no, I don't want to betray Dad. So that was like another thing that I wrote down about Roman having a heart. Daniel, welcome. I hope you're having a lovely day. We only have, oh gosh, I have 6 minutes to wrap this up. Maybe we'll stay for an extra 5. Let's see. I also wrote down... Let's see, Ewan helps Greg secure his own lawyer. Yeah, Ewan has a friend that wants to, that could represent Greg. I have another note, but I'll go down to that as I scroll down. Let's see, Kendall really believes that he's doing God's work against Logan, which I think plays another thing into like his, I think it's like beyond like a, is it performative feminism? It's like performative feminism plus a God complex almost. Like he's really sniffing his own farts at this point. Let's see, Connor being the voice of reason / older brother, which I think probably hints to their upbringing. Oh, like when Shiv was talking about like how Roman is like a, what was it? What did she say? She said something about like, oh, you actually have to have sex first or something. Like she like hints at his discomfort with his own sexuality, or like I guess intimacy in general. And then Connor is like, hey, like that's too far, that's not so nice, and I don't think you should do that. And he is the one that talks Roman to come back into the room, and Roman's like, oh no, it's no big deal, like I just went to use the bathroom or whatever. Is that true? I think that's left to audience interpretation, but I do think that that's like an intentional hint as to like their upbringing. So probably like Kendall always bullying Roman, also Shiv bullying Roman, and then Connor being more of the mediator and like, you know, big brother figure. Yeah, we'll see more of that as we get through the series. Oh, yes, and this one, bringing it back to the point I made earlier about them knowing. Did they know? Kendall and Connor said that they were aware of the culture their dad enabled. So very like a culture where it's okay to take advantage of women, the NRPI culture, no real person involved. Yeah, it was running rampant, I guess, according to Kendall and Connor. Like it was a very much an open secret, and they were quite aware that this was like a bad thing that was going on in their social circle, their family. Versus Shiv, she argued that she was too young to know. She was 15. So she was very adamant, like I didn't know. Roman didn't really like chime in too much, but I do think that like Kendall and Connor are arguing very heavily, like, no, we knew what was going on, and like we knew that this wasn't supposed to happen. I think maybe they're trying to say like Shiv knew, but I think Shiv is trying to say that like, yeah, like, I didn't quite understand it. I don't know. Either way, I think it's pretty telling. Connor, whatever. Like, he's not a major player in this so far that we've seen. Kendall, though, he knew that this was going on. He joined the company knowing that this culture is enabled, and he's only coming out against it because his dad wanted to throw him under the bus. And he's trying to act like he's like the coolest guy in the world, like the most feminist man in the world, because he's going against his dad despite being silent about it for so long. Let's see. What else do we have? Stewie's return. He's eyeing Kendall's plan for the proxy war. Sandy and Sandy, right? We don't see Sandy, the old guy that was at the club party with Stewie anymore. We see Sandy's daughter, Sandy with an I. She's taking her dad's place because her dad caught syphilis. Yeah, that's another thing to keep. The first time I was just like, why is it so confusing? But just know, the old guy, his daughter is his puppet because he caught syphilis from fucking around too much at these like orgies. So why do they do that? I don't know. Let's see. We also see Roman's mythologizing of Logan, where he tells his siblings that dad will survive this whole storm. Shiv, we see her loyalty wavering. We can team up and win. And then I think even Connor agreed that if they like if all the siblings band together and like, you know, they could really have a case against their dad, and like, sure, but like they're gonna have to take down their dad like legally. Like, he's gonna have to face legal consequences for this. But Roman, he believes in his dad, and he's very, very sturdy on being team dad. And of course, dad did say, he said, I trust you and I want you to keep an eye on Jerry because Jerry's CEO for now. So Roman's not gonna budge, but Shiv, she sees the math adding up, and then Kendall says he'd do the same to Roman, Connor, and maybe Shiv, which I think is like throwing them under the bus. And I mean, if anyone's gonna know this, it's gonna be Kendall. Like, he's been through this before. He's like, we've literally, the whole series kicks off with Kendall being chosen to be the heir. It's literally his coronation day when his dad changes his mind. So yeah. Let's see. Kendall was still getting it until he says, oh yeah, he was getting everybody on the team until he says, I'll lead. And then everybody is like, oh, okay, so this is gonna be like another CEO play. They all are like kind of thinking like, okay, well, maybe the math is adding up. We probably could, and like, it's not like bad things didn't happen. Like, it's actually true. Like, this was a bad thing, and maybe there should be consequences for this. But I think all of their egos, including Kendall's, kind of got in the way when they realized like, oh, Kendall wants to do this because he wants to be in charge and he wants the bosses around. And it's like, as siblings, like, that's a nightmare scenario. Let's see. I'm done scrolling. All right. So Kendall, my last few notes, Kendall was getting it. Oh yeah, and then Team Logan, they're flying around the world because of the law. I'm thinking, we always hear them talking about like needing a place to land and like they're scrambling and stuff. I was assuming that maybe it's because like no country wanted to like host them for so long. I don't know, I was a little bit confused about that plot point, but I wrote down Team Logan flying around because of the law. What country would want to hold them throughout this? But he ends the episode returning to New York. Let's see. The kids also receive a box of donuts from their dad, and none of them wanted to eat it because they assumed that he might have poisoned it, which is actually a crazy thing. A crazy thing to say about your own dad. Like, I think it's something like, okay, sure, joking, like, oh, he might have poisoned, but they actually like avoided eating the donuts entirely. They didn't even touch it. They didn't want to touch it. They actually freaked them out that dad sent the donuts to Rava's house. Kendall was using his ex-wife's house because he literally had nowhere else to go. And it's for the siblings. And they're like, oh shoot, dad knows that we're here and he wants to poison us. I wrote down Trojan horse again, question mark. Either way, the donuts spooked the kids. they all start wavering. They're trying to back out. So it's like, you know, kind of couple strikes against Kendall. Like, he wants to be CEO, and they see this as a ploy of him trying to take the CEO position. And then also, like, Dad's fully aware. They kind of don't want to betray Dad and possibly, you know, cause another stroke or like a heart attack for him. He's already old and fragile. So they're all kind of like, I don't know. So this causes Kendall to self-destruct. Let's see. What he tells Shiv, because Shiv was like, oh, well, tell them how you only wanted me, right? And then he says, oh, I only wanted Shiv because she's a girl and girls count for double, duh. That's, dude. The way that Kendall shoots himself in the foot is so crazy. So crazy. This isn't like the first, is it the first time we've seen him crash out? I don't know. I've seen the show so many times, but if it's not the first time that we've seen him crash out, his crash outs are a pattern, is what I'm trying to say. His crash outs are a pattern. He lets his ego get in the way of him every single time. He does not know how to shut up and make the situation better. I think we could probably kind of see that in the season 1 episode where they go to Tom's bachelor party and he kind of tracks down those girls whose business they wanted to invest in, and she's like, no, we like didn't want, you know, like, oh, they declined him. And then he tracked them down at the party and he's like, hey, so what's up? Why didn't you want to anyways, you know, he can't let it go. He has to get the last word and he can't let it go. Yeah, saying I only wanted Shiv because she's a girl and girls count double, duh, is a crazy thing to say. Let's see. Another note that I wrote down, Marcia suggests to Logan blackmailing Kendall. And I think Logan said that if they do that, he's gonna get his hands dirty too, so they can't do that. And I was like, oh my god, Marcia's coming out for blood. Which, like, okay, all right. I mean, valid though. Like, Logan's her source of income. If her man gets arrested and jailed, she's never seeing him again. What's she gonna do next? Sure, he like cheated on her, but like still, that's her man. Ewan's lawyer and Ewan, right? So Ewan set up his grandson Greg with his own friend, but it's very clear that they have their own motives for representing Greg as well. I don't know the dialogue exactly, but I think Greg wanted one thing, like specifically like for his situation, but Ewan and his lawyer, I forgot his name, but they made it sound like their whole reason for this is because they want to take down Waystar. It's kind of like, you know, Ewan doesn't have a good relationship with his brother. He doesn't have a good relationship with Logan. So he wants to, use this situation to his own advantage, not to help his grandson, but basically to get back at his younger brother. So I think that's another opportunity for Greg. He has to ask himself who to align with. He's kind of like stuck in a standstill. Either be a pawn for Logan, be a pawn for Kendall, or be a pawn for his grandpa. Which one is going to get him out of this mess in a rather positive situation? Greg has some thinking to do. And my final note, Logan staging props for his return to New York. Oh, sorry, paparazzi for his return to New York City. He tells all of his kids to come meet him. Was Connor there? I think Connor was there because he had to show unity. It's him controlling the narrative again. Every single move is about what angle does this play. I think it was mentioned earlier seasons, I don't remember where, or it might be mentioned later, but like they were like, oh, should we tell the kids? And he's like, well, what's the angle to that, right? So even when his like own family is involved, even when his own children is involved, everything is about like how is it going to benefit him, or how is it going to like detract from his influence and power. So yeah, when he returns to New York City, he calls for his kids to come. He's showing like, you know, camaraderie with Roman, like doing like a little like arm punch. And then when they get to his car, he scolds Shiv kind of lightly, but he tells Shiv like, you should have hugged me. And she's like, oh, well, like, sorry I didn't want to, I don't know, I guess participate in this photo shoot or whatever. But yeah, he was a little bit pissed off at Shiv that she didn't hug him to broadcast unity. And I think like on one hand it's super manipulative, but then I guess also thinking like from his shoes, like he's in a moment of his life and like for his business that is so publicized. All eyes are gonna be on them for quite a while, like until this kind of shakes out, and like, you know, his whole wealth and I guess like, yeah, his legacy depends on it, because Greg mentioned that his mom started buying the NutriBlend bullets or whatever because the Waystar stock prices were falling, and like their whole family's wealth is tied to the stock prices. So like he has to, in private or in public, he has to control the narrative. And I guess it's kind of like a chicken or an egg scenario. Like, does he have to do it because he's wealthy, or did he become wealthy because he does it? Anyways, I will leave that as my last thoughts. Let's go ahead and take a look at our stocks. The suck stock for before the night ends. Let me go ahead and pull it up. And let's also close the poll too. Let's see. I like how it's a 50-50. That's crazy. All right. Is the paycheck for working directly for Logan Roy worth it? The proximity to power / influence. 50% of you guys said yes, and 50% of you guys said no. Which honestly, I think about this every single episode. It's like, sure, yeah, like, I mean, I guess it's kind of like Greg, right? We see him slowly, like the proximity to the wealth and influence is like slowly corroding his moral compass, and he's like more willing to sacrifice his principles in order to save his own skin, in order to be wealthy, right? He could have stuck with the inheritance from his grandpa, but he's like, well, one, I don't even know if that's guaranteed, and two, who knows when my grandpa's gonna die, and three, like, sure, I'm not being paid that much money by sticking with the Roys, but I get access to more doors than if I didn't, so maybe I can turn that into something. Like, there's potential to grow from there. I don't know. Anyways, before I keep yapping, let's hurry up and wrap this up. Here we go. We have one response so far. Thank you so much. Wait, I should probably close the poll too. You know, I'm just gonna unpin the message. Goodbye. Let's see. We have okay, investing. We're investing in Kendall Roy this week. I do think so. I think that's a good move. Like, yeah, Kendall is kind of, you know, he's concerning a little bit and probably not the most morally consistent, but he has leverage. He's pinned his dad in a corner. He stole the lawyer that his dad wants. He has the evidence against his dad. He's the one who's currently controlling the narrative. Logan's kind of pinned. How can he get out of this? Can he get out of this? We'll find out. We'll find out tonight. Selling Shiv Roy. Shiv fumbled getting Lisa Arthur for her father. Logan's all in on Roman as the heir right now. Shiv is kind of fallen out of the favor. So, yeah, selling Shiv, totally valid. Kendall do be in the power spot, just has to stay away from drugs. Yes, dude, we've seen Kendall self-destruct so many times and like relapse and stuff. It's like, it's not a matter of like, can he do it? Because he can clearly get started on doing it. It's a matter of like, can he finish? So I guess we'll find out. And we're skipping Connor Roy. Yeah, we've only seen Connor Roy just be a nice big brother so far. So yeah, I think Connor Roy's a worthy skip. Who's your pick to be Logan's successor? Kendall Roy, my #1 boy. Yes, even if Kendall is not in the company, maybe he can still take down his dad. And, you know, I mean, he's like the most logical choice, in my opinion. He's the one that's worked there the longest. He's competent. But it's just a matter of like, can he finish without stumbling? Any favorite moments this week? The cookies, they're poison. Were they cookies or were they donuts? I don't remember. Either way. Mr. Logan Roy sending poisonous sweets to his children? That's ridiculous. What a tell of his character. And last but not least, any thoughts to share about the show? It was very good. I'm so excited to see like how your guys's opinions change about the show, especially now that we're like nearing the end. I'm really curious to see how it's gonna finish. Like when we finish it, when you have had time to like see the character arcs in their entirety, see the story beats in their entirety, there's like, I don't even know if they're gonna get introduced this season. I keep thinking about we get another major cast member either this, I think it's this season actually. So yeah, I'm excited for them to come into play, and that's actually a reminder for me that I gotta add them to this when they come into play. But yeah, it's season 3 character new introduction, crazy. Can he ignore the outside judgment, right? Hey Greg, take my cultural temperature check. The way he just talks in buzzwords is so funny. But yeah, I don't want to keep the Discord watch along waiting any longer. Thank you guys so much for indulging with me on this little chat and recap. I always have so much fun doing this. Honestly, I don't know how it was visually. You guys can let me know in the comments. But for me, having like my notes organized like this, it felt a lot easier for me to talk about. So I think I'm gonna take my notes like this. But if there's any way that I can improve like the stream part of it instead of like the brain part of it for me, like your guys' experience, feel free to let me know. Maybe I could like take screenshots or something. Wait, did I like pin the wrong thing? I'm so stupid. Yeah, we're gonna go to the Discord literally right now to watch season 3 episode 3 and 4, the next 2 episodes. Shall I also do the synopsis? Succession season 3 episode 3. Season 3 episode 3 is titled The Disruption. With the Department of Justice at the door, Logan summons his arsenal, while Tom makes a potentially life-changing offer. Kendall becomes obsessed with his own takedown. Ooh, doesn't sound like it would be so awesome for Team Kendall. I guess we'll find out. And then Season 3, Episode 4 is called Lion in the Meadow. Logan and Kendall have their first meeting together with Josh, a major investor worried about their family feud. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be watching right now. I hope to see you in the Discord. I'm gonna go ahead and start the event, and until next time, take care. Let's see, we should have some streams this weekday, so pay attention to the community post or my Twitter, or even better, the Discord in the Boomer section. So yeah, I'll hopefully see you guys tomorrow, and I think Wednesday. Yeah, until then, bye! Wow. Fun show. I'm excited to watch the rest. I can't join this week, but I'll catch up for next time. Oh, I hope you enjoy it. The worst part about like watching it on your own is just trying to binge it. I feel like the show, I've personally been enjoying it as like a weekly pace, but I know that it's, at least for me, the first time I watched it was so hard not to binge it. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the Discord. Bye bye.